Hi, my name is Morgan, and this is my tiny home.
Things cost so much these days, especially out here in Montana. It gives me something so that I'm kind of not a slave to my house. You look around, this tiny home is just, it's cuter than a button. As a horse trainer, I actually have 23 horses.
So a lot of people would want to know what that is. That's kind of a nice thing. It took me a while to actually figure out what that was. So this is actually, I feel like, my greatest contribution to the tiny home.
This tiny home was actually designed by a lady architect. In the words of one of my friends, is that she designed this thing to have everything in it that a woman could ever want. And, well, I'm not a woman, but it has everything in it that I want to. You look around, this tiny home is just, it's cuter than a button. I had always had a fascination with tiny homes, with tree forts and things like that. And it's like living in a cabin. I bought it so that I could take it mobile to wherever I end up buying a plot of land. Being close to my horses is nice. As a horse trainer, I actually have 23 horses. Things cost so much these days, especially out here in Montana. It gives me something so that I'm kind of not a slave to my house. This tiny home has nicer stuff in it than I've ever had in any house I've lived in, my parents lived in, that I rented. This is literally the nicest place I've ever been in. I would say, hands down, my favorite thing are the doors in this place. I've always said, if I sell this thing and somebody takes the price down too far on me, I'm keeping my doors. You're not getting these doors. I stay in this tiny home as much as I can. I also stay at my girlfriend's house a lot, so I can't really say it's a full-time residence for me, but I bought it so that it could be a full-time residence, and I would be 100% fine living here. My girlfriend, and probably my wife someday, said she'd be 100% fine living here too. She liked the idea that it doesn't cost us $2,000 to live here every month, so it saves a lot of money. If I could buy a plot of land, set this somewhere, I'm immediately ready to move in. So this is kind of a dream, it's not kind of, it is a dream come true to me. When I come in here, I just feel all right, and I always felt that way from the first day. That's my girlfriend right there. Hey Lynette. Are you coming over?
Where?
To the tiny home. We're there right now. I'm actually on the show with the camera right now. How long till you get here? Yeah, bring your dancing shoes.
As you can see, I have a back deck, which is real handy to have. You can come out here and sit, a place to take your shoes off before you go inside. Got the mud scrubber for us. That gets a lot of use, especially in the winter with the snow. So this tiny home is 8.5 wide by 33 feet long, which 8.5 is the maximum you can have and go down the road without a permit. So up here, we got the best spot to hang out when it's nighttime. So now we're on the rooftop deck and we just hang out here and just enjoy the stars. It's pretty romantic, my girlfriend and I. I'm a horse trainer, so you can see I got some horses out there. These are all my horses. This folds down because the max height going down the road is 13'6", so you can go under bridges and whatnot. Another cool thing about up here is this roof. It's got a curved look and it just makes it real cute up here. And I've always liked the look of it. It gives it the cottage feel. You'd be surprised being up high like this. Most people around here only have one story. So I'm actually taller than most of the houses. And you're kind of up in the trees a little bit. So here's my barbecue. We do most of our cooking out there. So around here in the front of the tiny home, there's storage in here. This is my air conditioning system. It does have HVAC air. This is my water heater and whatever else I want to put in here. I put these gutters on here, which were actually just a piece of window flashing, and I ran them long to carry the water all the way out of the tiny home. And that's pretty nice. I may take that down one day or clip it shorter if I was moving it down the highway. But while it's parked here, these long gutters do a nice thing. We come around here. This is where you jack it up and down to get it level. We have a hammock out here in the back, which I just set up, that my girlfriend gave me to keep here. Pretty nice.
On the outside, this Montana sun really beats things up. One side of it was literally black. It had charred on that side.
I used the wood restore on it. Only took me a few days. I got all the black stuff off of it. I sanded it all down completely, and then I restained it with an oil stain and kept everything, making it look brand new again, because it was pretty much new on the inside. I had to restore it a little bit, but there wasn't much needed to be done on the inside. This is the inside of my tiny home. It was kind of designed to be very romantic and to have everything in it that I guess you would ever want in a home. That's why it's so heavy. So these are quartz countertops. These are hard maple drawers and cabinets. Everything fits in here. Curly maple floor. So these come out. This is kind of like my little hangout area. I can set the laptop up here. Room for two. So I do leather work as well. I actually made these for my father when I was in high school, so they're getting pretty old now. It's getting to be about 22 years ago I made those, but they're kind of special. I got my TV set up with a Fire Stick, so there is cable in here. I installed this. Everybody should have one of these. The lights go on and they go off, but I also got this fan. That pushes the heat down a lot in the winter. And of course it's nice in the summer as well. In the kitchen here, I got my microwave, got my electric kettle. Between that and the barbecue, that's like most of what I do in the tiny home. I don't really use everything. Actually, I've never used the oven. It came like that. No one has ever used the oven, actually. And the only thing that's ever been cooked in this microwave was popcorn, which keep a couple things like that in here for s'mores and popcorn. I keep a lot of snacks around here for when I'm out here working. I always give these to the guests when they come by. That one. Here's where I keep my cups and glasses and a few things. Don't use much because I'm just a guy. I don't have a lot of stuff in here. So this one has a fridge right here. It looks like a mini fridge, but it's only a fridge. So there's kind of a lot of space in there for all your food. Because I also have over here a mini freezer. So between the two, you do all right for how much food you can keep in here. You don't want to be too restricted. And a full normal double would kill my counter space. So this frees up counter space and gives us enough stuff. So a lot of people would want to know what that is. And that is the air conditioning right there. There's another one over here in the corner. And there's one in the bedroom. And I think there's one in the bathroom too. That's kind of a nice thing. It took me a while to actually figure out what that was. Nobody kind of knew, and I was like, it's a weird drain for the water. But in the way they did it, well, it's an air conditioner. Now we all know. Right here, I have exactly a 5-foot section for putting a couch. I could put a table, I could do other things so I could entertain, but this couch fit me perfect. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for free, and it was just right. So we come over here. We come in here is the bathroom. It's where I keep towels and paper towels. This has got kind of a full-size shower, which it was a big thing for me. I didn't want one of those little small corner showers like you usually get. This is a full tile shower. It does add to the weight of the tiny home, but it's not really meant to go down the road. It's just meant to be mobile. It's not an RV. So I got tile shelves in here, and that's one of the things I'm kind of most happy with around here actually, is that I have a nice full shower. So this tiny home, you'll notice, doesn't really have lofts and things like that, which it doesn't hold as much stuff, but it's more like an actual home. So I have an actual flush toilet. I have, all the amenities of a home. I have a full kitchen, whereas most people have kind of things more cramped, and they'll put the kitchen on one end and they'll put their bedroom on top of the bathroom, and they'll have a short ceiling here. which would be fine for me. But if you're, 6 foot or more, having a short ceiling is kind of cramping it and making things tiny. So up there, I'm able to store some things. I don't really put much up there because I try to keep things from going in here as much as I can. Now come back here, and this is the bedroom. I also have another fan up here with the lights, which is a really handy thing. Another thing that this fan helps about pulling the heat down, because when we did this tiny home, they put the heater up here. It would still be cold down here. So when it's 20 below in Montana, this fan right here made it so that I was able to heat this easily. So when I'm in here, I can open the windows on both sides and the breeze goes right through, which is really nice. So this is actually, these windows are something I really like as well. They slide so easy. This is a full-size queen bed. I put a mattress in here. There's storage under here in these drawers. And it's not that much else to say. There's a cabinet in here for putting clothes and whatnot. So this is actually, I feel like, my greatest contribution to the tiny home. It's this deck right here. I just pulled up my flatbed trailer. It's completely mobile. It goes with the tiny home wherever it goes. We can dance on it. We two-step and swing dance out here all the time. I mean, this is a great sized dance floor, especially if I take those out. I mean, this is more than you need for 2 people. We can have a couple friends over, kind of part of a local dance community called Country Renegades around here. And there's a lot of us, and we can come out here and we can have a little fire if we want. And of course, we got the music to bump to. This is a nice spot. This is another reason I really bought the tiny home, actually. I saw what it could be with a big deck out here. And I was like, well, it's tiny in there, but when you come out here, guess what? We just doubled the size of it. It's actually pretty big when you stand out here. When you're living in there, it may feel small, but once I got this trailer out here, this whole place just opened it up and it really became a home. And my girlfriend loved it, and it was just, she thought it was so great. So I was really proud of it. If I wanted to buy a plot of land somewhere, I could immediately move right in with my tiny home. And I thought that this could maybe be an ADU if I stopped using it one day after I build a bigger house somewhere. This becomes an ADU. Another thing I had also thought was that I could pull this sliding glass door out and I'd do a gable addition right here, where I'd make a little living room right here with a wood stove and another bedroom out here, because then it would become a 2-bedroom house. Things are so expensive nowadays. Sometimes all you can afford is a little piece of land. And this really made it so that I could take a piece of land and move right into it. And it gave me a lot of hope.
People tell me that they didn't think they would like to live in a tiny home, but when they get in here and they see all the luxury that this thing was built with, they say, I could see how you really like it. I bring my friends' kids over here. They want to stay. They say they want to go to Morgan's tiny home. I get positive vibes on all of it, really. They see that I really like it. And, if you're really happy and you're really proud, that just infects everybody around you. I feel that since I bought this house, my life has gotten better. I haven't lost anything going tiny. I think I've definitely gained it. I gained a lot of peace of mind being here. It allows me to squirrel away a lot more of my savings. It just gave me a place to come back to every day. Like, it's mine. I never had anything that was mine before. This is my first.
If you liked this week's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check back soon because we're publishing more unique home tours every single week. And if you'd like to join our team, make sure you click on the join button below to get access to members-only content and other awesome perks.